Friday, happy Sunday. I'm Jacob. I'm building wealth for myself and my family. I'm 28 years old. I have $640,000. I'm debt free, and I'm on this war path of getting to $1 million by the time I'm 32. So on this channel, I share some tips, some strategies, some things that help me get to where I am, and then just my continuous learnings as I get to that $1 million mark by the time I'm 32. Now, every week I like to go over my weekly budget, my monthly goals, and show you my path that I'm on to get to that $1 million. I think a budget is the most important thing for anybody. It's the foundation, it's the blueprint to building wealth. Because if you don't know how much money is coming into you on a monthly basis, if you're getting your paycheck every 2 weeks and money just comes in and it goes out and you're not controlling it, you don't know where it's going, you're never going to build wealth. So every single dollar that comes into your possession needs a job. I give a job to all of my dollars, and I want to show you exactly how I budget my money, how I spend it, and to show you if I'm actually on my goals or not, like if I'm on track to save the money that I'm trying to save every single month. So let's dive into my trusty old spreadsheet. So right now, my wife and I are on a $5,000 a month budget. Or that's not our budget. We're getting $5,000 a month for our income, and we're budgeting that money. So for groceries, we're spending $250 a week. On our wants, we're spending $87 a week. And our expenses, we're trying to aim at $167 a week, but those are a little sporadic, and we never know when those are going to come in, like when the dog needs some vet pills and whenever we need to fill up our gas tank and stuff like that. We also are trying to invest $784 a month. And we're spending on rent $1,200 a month. Now, this month, our rent has already been prepaid. I've been living in this apartment for over a year, and I prepaid all the rent going forward. So we don't have rent this month. So right here was all last week's budget, and this is what I want to keep an eye on for the weekly budget. So today's June 22nd. This was all last week. Yesterday, the week ended on Saturday, the 21st. So, did we do good on our grocery bill? Yes, we did. We spent $249 for the week for groceries, so we're good there. On our wants, we want to spend $87 a week. We spent $102, so that's actually not on budget. We didn't do good there. And then on our expenses, yes, we want to spend $167 a week. We spent $168, so we're doing good there. But our monthly goal is $668 a month, and we're at $738 down here already for the month. Now, it looks like we had an okay month or an okay week, but it actually gets a little bit worse. I have these other expenses right here. My wife got some pizza. I bought some wine. My dog, Lana, she needed some pills, which were $39, almost 40 bucks. And then I bought some more wine, which I definitely shouldn't be doing because we're over budget on the week. But I'm going to show you something that I do all the time. I don't think it's cheating. I think it's okay. But you have to really be honest with yourself and disciplined to follow this. So when I think of a budget, I'm thinking of the budget on monthly terms. And money doesn't have to be spent exactly to the T every single week the way you have it planned out. But it does need to come in as close as possible by the end of the month. So maybe one week, if you want to spend $1,000 a month on groceries, and one week you spend $100, and another week you spend $400, that's okay, but it has to equal out at the end of the month. So let me show you. On Friday, last Friday, on the 20th, I went to the grocery store to buy this week's groceries. I go almost every Friday and I buy the upcoming week's groceries. So I already know that for this week, today's the 22nd, this is the upcoming week, I've spent $143.13. So what I'm going to do is all this stuff that I bought over the past week where I didn't have a space for it in my budget, I'm gonna put it in over here. And now for my weekly grocery spend, I'm at $215. So I'm still under budget. We're trying to get to $250 for the week and $1,000 for the month. We're at $965 for the month. So this is okay. The money's still being budgeted and spent correctly. I'm still on target to have my saving and investment goals. Now, I'm also a little bit over budget on these wants though. Like last week I had $102 spent. I'm trying to go for $87. The other week I spent $95. I'm trying to go for $87. But look at the first week. I only spent $81 and I'm trying to go for $87. So some weeks I spend more and some weeks I spend less. It's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to budget these out to $87 like this. So I'm going to say, okay, I want to spend 87 or 95.98 minus 87 is $8.98. So I'm going to subtract $8.98 from this week's budget up there. This comes in at $87 now. And I'm going to put this number on this week's budget. So I'm just gonna say backlog. Okay, now that week's was $87. I'm on budget there. This week I spent 102 this past week, and I wanted it to be 87. So same thing. I'm gonna say, okay, 102.68. This week's finish minus 87. I was over by $15.68. So I'm gonna subtract $15.68 right here. All right, so that's $87 now. Boom. Backlog. All right, so this week I've technically already spent $24 of my $87 budget for my wants. This is going out to get coffee with friends and a glass of wine and stuff like that. So I just need to be conscious, because for my wants for the month, I want to spend $348 and I'm at $280. I'm still on budget. Even though I just moved some numbers forward, like I pulled from the other weeks and put them on this week, I'm still on budget. I'm at my monthly goal. Some people might consider this cheating. I don't, because at the end, it's just all about evening out. And numbers are meant to be played with a little bit. You're supposed to have fun. This is supposed to transform along with your life. Life isn't a rudimentary schedule of every single day, black and white, spend $5, spend $5, spend $5. No, you have to make adjustments for your life, and this is how I make adjustments. So I'm on budget. I'm supposed to spend $1,000 for the month on groceries. I've spent $965. I'm supposed to spend $348 on those wants. I'm at $280. On my expenses, I want to spend $668 and I'm at $738. Now, if you've been watching the other videos, you'll know that this month was the first month where I created this budget, because my income was $170,000 a year, but I lost my job and now I'm just doing some other stuff with my wife, and our income got slashed down to $60,000 a year. So now we're budgeting a $5,000 a month income, where before it was like $14,000. So this is the first month we're doing this. So I'm actually pretty happy with where I'm at on my expenses, because we're just getting a feel for where this should be. And we're almost $100 over what I expected us to be, but we're moving next month from Buenos Aires, where we're at now, to Chile. And a lot of these expenses I'm not going to have anymore. Like my psychologist, I'm spending $80, $90 a week on. My wife spends $30, $25 a month on her psychologist. Actually, I put 25, I meant to put 30 here. But we're not going to have these expenses. So I'm expecting my expenses to actually still be on track to hit the 668 mark as we go into the upcoming month. So we're doing really solid on our budget, and we're actually, like I mentioned, moving, and we're expected to get $5,000 at the end of the month for the pay. And I have $648 in a bank account still. And my credit card's completely paid off this month. I don't have any credit card payments. So I should have $5,648 at the end of this month. So I'm doing really good. And whenever I look at my brokerage account, it's at $634,000. It does vary based on the day. Like on Friday, the market was down by 1/3%. So, or my portfolio was. So that was an $1,800 move. I mean, 1% moves my portfolio up and down $6,400. So I'm still doing really good. I love looking at my portfolio, seeing that it's still on a good pace here. But we've been spending a lot of money like cash. And I'll show you what I mean. So giving you a tour of my house, it is a complete disaster. It's so barren because we're moving. We've been selling a bunch of stuff. So coming into my living room, my couch, I'm so embarrassed to show you this, but it is what it is. It's just full of clothes. My floor just has stuff that I took off the wall from it. I have like no furniture in here. There's a echo. I think there's a huge echo, right? Super noticeable echo. But we're selling all this stuff because we're moving. And so as money's been coming in, as we've been selling the stuff, we've actually been using that money to fund a lot of just our expenses, going to the grocery store, paying for cash. This used to be my office. Oh, it's so empty now, so sad. There's my dog, there's Lana. Say hi, Lana. I haven't been doing a great job on keeping up on the cash that's coming in and out. Kind of because I was like, well, I never really budgeted for this anyways. I'm just selling all this stuff and like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. So it's been a weird time for us and our finances, just our life. Let me set you back down. So yeah, as I was saying, it's been a weird time for us lately, just with our finances, with our life, with our schedule, our routines, and trying to work and sell stuff and stay on the budget. But seeing the numbers, I mean, I'm still keeping track of everything we're spending. Now, the money that's coming in, I haven't been doing a great job of, but I don't really care as much about keeping track of the money that's coming in as I do more about keeping track of the money that's going out, because once the money's in, it's already in my giant net. So it's not going to just disappear if I'm not keeping track of, or if I'm keeping track of how to spend it. It's not just going to float out. Like, I'm still keeping track of every dollar I'm spending. So even though I've got a bunch of money that's been coming in from selling like couches and chairs and rugs and plants and stuff, the money's here. The money's, you know, I got cash for it and it's going to my bank account. It's okay. It's just, I'm still keeping track of what I'm spending. So we're still doing really good, as you've seen. I think next month our expenses are going to get cut still by a lot as we start to take things out of the budget, like the psychologist, the maid, and those things. And yeah, we're on a really good track. So I hope this helped you. I mean, I know this is kind of crazy, but this is life. Things happen. Things are constantly moving around. Pieces are moving around. And, you know, we just have to do our best to stay on top of it. You know, money's not everything, but it's a necessary part of life. So I know it's the same for you. You got a lot of stuff going on, but it's just so important to make sure you still stay on top of how much you're spending, where your money's going. Do as good of a job as you possibly can, and just get on a budget. Make sure you're on your budget. Make sure you're following it. Say no to things that you don't really want. Don't settle for things just because people offer them to you. And if you just kind of want something, don't go spend your money. That same money can be invested and saved and help build wealth. So I hope this video helped you. I know it's a disaster, but I keep repeating that. It's crazy over here. But anyways, we'll see each other in the next video. Bye.